So, a pretty massive Twitch streamer and YouTuber by the name of Sykkuno, a 34-year-old man, is being accused of quite some serious allegations. Basically, just being accused of being a pretty bad person with allegations of things like serial cheating, master manipulation, dangerous predator, right? So some very serious words being thrown around by this creator, Hemomal. Now, to get a little context, this Hemomal person is an adult content creator. Person does sell content and whatnot, right? To kind of preface this, because it does come into play. It seems like this Sykkuno dude really has an interest in messaging like e-girls and adult content creators, you know, trying to get his rocks off and whatnot. Now, Hemomal posted this Google Doc saying copy of exposing Sykkuno, and it is, of course, one of these pretty lengthy Google Docs, 32 pages, but the main points basically boil down to Sykkuno being a serial cheater, meaning that he was in a relationship at the time, an unhappy relationship, where he was messaging a whole bunch of women, basically trying to hook up with them, fly them out. Master manipulation, this is kind of their opinion of the situation, where he would like pretend he's not talking to other women, but I guess he was talking to a lot of women. And then the dangerous predator part, she likes to mention the age gap, claiming that there's like a 15-year age gap because she's 20 years old and he's like 34 years old, which I think they're still both legal adults, so that's kind of nothing in my opinion. Now, it starts off with, on Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my role model and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school. However, what I learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision. Sykkuno is not the kind, soft-spoken character you see on stream. He is a serial cheater, liar, and manipulator who uses his status to get what he wants from as many women as possible, more specifically, ones who are smaller or up-and-coming content creators, knowing that he can take advantage of them. So, already kind of starting this off with some very serious, pretty evil, villainous accusation, some like real Harvey Weinstein activity, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm the guy in power. You want a chance to succeed on this platform, you got to do some services to me. Now, after covering all these allegations, you might just think this guy's a bit of a simp, a bit of a gooner, a serial gooner who love bombs women, right? Which I don't think is illegal. Sure, it's not a great thing to do, but I wouldn't necessarily say someone should be canceled for risen up a lot of women and just kind of being scummy about it. Heading on, after confiding in many others that had similar experiences with Sykkuno, I realized that this was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was something that had been going on for multiple years. He always made sure to cover his tracks and never left a paper trail significant enough for someone to make this public, but now this has all changed. These are serious allegations, and I fully understand that this should not be treated lightly. I urge all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno's behavior to not remain silent, as I believe that there is strength in numbers. So this document will not only provide proof from me, but from another victim who has given me her consent as well. Below you will find evidence that will expose his calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation, as well as a recording of a voice call where he explicitly admits to all of his wrongdoings. Everything. So we start this off with their first conversation. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about him following me that I told a friend, who then urged me to strike up a convo. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM, and he replied right away. So as you can see, this is her DMs to Sykkuno on 15th of February, the day after Valentine's Day. Are you still looking for a Valentine's date, perhaps, with a Sabrina Carpenter gift? This is her sending this to him, right? So she started this all, right? We're not saying that she's like we're not saying this guy's innocent yet, but she started this, right? What? You can't just open up with something like that. And besides, Valentine's Day is almost over where I'm from already. So already kind of very just friendly, right? She's starting this off very flirty. She's trying to riz him up. Mind you, I mentioned the fact that this chick sells adult content because her page is literally full of like thirst traps. So, you have a girl who posts a lot of thirst traps, a hot chick, messages you, trying to flirt with you. I don't care how big your following is. If this is an adult, I say go for it. I say, hey, screw it. You're both consenting adults. You can message them all day long. She then says, I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know? Invited me to play games. In the same first convo, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play and invited me to play with him after a convention. So still very friendly, talking about video games. I can take the healing kit and heal you in it. What time is it where you're from? It's 5:48 a.m., but I have a horrible sleep schedule. It's 5:48 a.m. What? OMG. What do you want to play right now? If you're not tired or something, why are you awake? Because I'm bad at sleeping, okay? I gym at night. It's okay. I'm pretty bad at sleeping too, not gonna lie. On a real note, a friend of mine dared me because I didn't know how to reach out. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to come off weird. LOL, you aren't weird at all. Don't worry. And I didn't say no, I guess so. LOL, JK, JK. What games do you like to play? I'm like a massive game player. That's usually how I meet people or make friends, to be honest. Now, in these messages, she is literally begging this man to play video games with her, whether that be like Outlast Trials, Overwatch. And he talks about how he has to go to a convention, so he's probably going to be sleeping, or he's going to go to sleep early. And she's like, please, just one game, just one game. I'm going to skip this because, again, like a lot of this context isn't exactly the predatory or bad stuff. For such like a horrible guy, you know, she's super flirty. She's super into it. I understand the dynamics between like a large content creator, of course, or like a huge famous person, you know, using fans or like having interactions with fans or potentially grooming and whatnot. But I'm not saying that, right? I see a woman who is a content creator, albeit smaller than Sykkuno is, and I see Sykkuno engaging in a friendly conversation about common interests with a consenting adult woman. Clearly a straight dude who has a hot chick in his DMs talking about video games and common hobbies. Interest in where I live. For context, this is still the same day as the first conversation. We only moved to Discord a few hours apart since I'm in the European time zone and he's in the US time zone. Things started out innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do near where I live, such as aquariums and conventions, TwitchCon Europe specifically. I'd like to point out that I said we could go on a date to make up for Valentine's. He's not once expressed to me any discomfort or that he wasn't single. So she is the one who said we could go on a date to make up for Valentine's. She also says that he wasn't single. So of course, this is where the cheating allegations are going to come in. I don't condone cheating. I think cheating is a terrible thing. If you have a partner, you shouldn't be messing with other people. But it doesn't make you a horrible person. It doesn't make you someone who is like a predator by any means. It just kind of makes you a douchebag. Here's the Discord messages. Sykkuno, LOL, try that. Do they have any aquariums? I'm a big fan of aquariums. That's artist in Amsterdam. Could make it a date, you know, to make up for Valentine's Day. Artist, a what, LOL? Wait, how far away even is TwitchCon? OMG, let me check. Last days for May. Whoa, okay, it's actually like only a few months away. Wow, it really just sneaks up. That was that. That was the Discord. That was all we had right there. Follow my private Insta. He would also follow my personal private Instagram that is only available to my IRL friends and family while using his official Sykkuno account. You notice how she doesn't mention like if she gave it to him or not. She just like says it as if he's like a creep who like found this or something. I think that context is a little important. Like, did he ask you for this or did you give it to him? Like, is it linked to your Instagram, your public one, and you accepted it? Making plans to meet me in person. In this 2-hour Discord gaming call, the same day as our first conversation, Sykkuno made plans to meet me IRL. It was set to be the same weekend as Dakami 2026, since he was flying over anyway to attend TwitchCon Europe. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there's a 15-year age gap between us. Now, she says this as if he's like 30 and she's 15 years old. Mind you, she's 19 and he's like 32, 33, something like that. I'm not doing all the math. Both, again, consenting adults who know that they're legally consenting into a back and forth conversation that includes flirting. They had a call for 2 hours. He sent a skull thing. I'm so bad at Outlast, lol. Was fun hanging out though. I'll find the best of reels to send. No, honey, you did great. I have friends that did way worse than you. I expected less of you. Making plans to move in. With Sykkuno, our relationship moved so fast it almost felt like a dream. It was like he could make anything I wanted happen, and as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me. These screenshots show that Sykkuno and I were intending to adopt a cat and have me possibly move into his house. I told him we couldn't get a cat yet to me not being a US citizen and possibly having visa issues. Keep in mind, this conversation happened 2 days after the first conversation. So I'm going to skip these ones. She pretty much talks about how she has like a cat and that he is allergic to cats and whatnot, but he's allowed around certain cats and he's also allowed around his dog. Then they go further into that, and then they, what seems like to me, role play about like if they were to get a cat, what would they name it, right? And how he's talking about like, oh well, you're gonna have to be here at the house to take care of the cat and whatnot. Like, I understand that people could take that as a love bombing, or like, oh man, let's move in, you're moving in tomorrow, come on over, let's get the cat, like, but this just comes across as role playing. Like, obviously I don't think Sykkuno wants to move in a woman he met on freaking Twitter 2 days ago to his home. But I think it's fair to, like, when you're flirting with someone or having a fair, fun back and forth, you can like role play scenarios that might not ever happen, right? She says, I mean, if I'm there anyways, we'd have to think of a name. No, yeah, but I don't know if I can take care of it by myself. Were you just going to name it Cat? You'll have to help take care of it. LOL. I'm okay with that. Though I don't know how they'd work with me staying there. I can't stay forever either, you know, because I'm not an American citizen. Also, probably have to go back as well. Because I mean, I hope at least that I can go back to studying in this year and like, oh yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe we get a cat together another time then. Now we're on page 11, lying about being single and dating. In this screenshot, Sykkuno said he only ever had one relationship his entire life. I would eventually find out that was a lie and that he'd been dating and living in the same house as a girlfriend for years, and that I was not the only girl on the internet that he spoke to on a daily basis. Sykkuno, I don't know, lol. I've only actually dated someone once and they broke up with me, so yeah, I think I'm just not very good, so it's probably a me issue. Did you like never do anything for your ex, like at all? I mean, I think I did. I don't think she thought I did, so yeah. But I mean, everyone has their own way of what they want, so it's important to be like, are you getting what you want? And if you're not, I totally understand. Such as, that's it. Like, what? Bruh, like, she'll make like such a crazy accusation and include one screenshot. Sexting. We texted every single day, and these interactions will be charged with flirting and suggestive topics. You know, kind of like you literally messaging this guy about a Valentine's date. I would send him suggestive pictures and audios, and he would confirm he touched them himself to them. So she was going out of her way to send him pictures and audios, right? He would confirm that he was touching himself. Additionally, he'd always act flustered and inexperienced, keeping up the illusion of his on-stream innocent persona. I don't know how that's relevant. We'd also regularly talk about date ideas and things we'd like to do together in the future when we meet up IRL, topics that are usually discussed between two adults who are clearly romantically interested in each other. On top of texting, we also called almost every day. Even after he'd stream for 8 hours, we'd talk and play games regularly. One thing I noticed is that every time we called and when he spoke, he'd be whispering and never using his full voice. His excuse was that it's because he was tired after a long stream, and I didn't really find that to be suspicious. Using your voice for 8 hours in a row does exhaust it, after all. I now realize that he was quiet because his girlfriend lived with him and he didn't want her to hear. And in this, they're basically talking about like watching Netflix shows, playing video games, Helldivers, Overwatch. Like that audio recording I sent you? Huh? OMG, well yes, you sounded really cute in that. Do you ever re-listen to it or only once? Thank you. I try my best to sound good for you. Wait, why'd you send me 81 bucks? Oh, you said you wanted the new Resident Evil game. Oh, I mean specifically 81. I don't know. It translates to 100 for USD. We'll work out together then. I can spot you, right? So she's clearly like splicing these texts up to kind of show context, which I don't think it's that deep. So these ones are kind of funny. Maul says you get flustered easily because I'm not. I have never done like this kind of thing before. LOL. This is such a spicy video. Oh my God. You don't like it, which is crazy because I'm older than you, but like I haven't really dated much. So you have me now. So you have me now. Like, This is crazy because like you can date people without them being like your girlfriend. I mean, that's kind of might be a hot take to people. You can date multiple people. Like if you're not adding the boyfriend girlfriend tag to it, people might morally think that's not okay or it's like not right. But that can happen. You can date people and hang out with people. You can even have like friends with benefits and whatnot without being in a relationship with someone beyond just friendly or flirty or sexual. She's the one who's like, you have me now, implying like you're mine. She's trying to claim him. My XP bar is low. That's cringe. But no, I do not. It's never gotten something like this before. Yes, I like it so good. I can't wait to use it later. I kind of wondered if you ever touch yourself while watching what I send you. What? Why would you wonder that? Well, because they're spicy pictures and videos. Of course, I wonder if you put them to use. I'll definitely put this one to use. So you've never done so before? Maybe. I want a yes or no. Yes, of course I have. How could I not? So like, this is just cringe. Like this guy's 34 or what was it? 32? He's 32 or something like that, and she's 19, and he's just kind of like a loser. That's all I'm seeing. Like, even if this dude was like a super hornball, there's nothing happening yet that is truly like making this guy a bad guy. Yeah, he might be a cheater. That's it. That's the only problem so far. Now here she is sending him another photo. As you can see, there's like a photo up here that's cropped out. Going back to sleep, hearts. Hope you have a good rest and that you're feeling better. You don't have to send me. What the heck, LOL. Hope you feel as good as you look. I know you said you weren't feeling too great yesterday. I'm feeling a little bit better. Yeah, I love getting compliments from you. Good morning, handsome. What are you up to? Sugar daddy. Less than a month later, Sykkuno would randomly ask for my PayPal account in DMs. He'd then waste no time and send me money unprompted, something that I'd later realize was simply a behavioral pattern that he employed with women he'd express interest in. I want to reiterate that I never asked him for his money, and he did this on his own volition. He bought me both a gym jacket linked below and Resident Evil 9 because I had expressed interest in the game. So as you can see, Sykkuno sent 200 and then 81.16. So bro sent $281 to a adult content creator who also sells content on Patreon. So I guess it's fine. If you're like a simp guy who goes to her Patreon to give her money, it's fine. But if you are a content creator who she PMs or DMs first, it's a problem, right? If you have money and you send it to a woman who you're flirting and sexting with, it's a problem. Now, like, I'm struggling to keep up. Of course, I'm not the smartest man alive. I'm not a philosopher. You still aren't asleep either. I fell asleep, woke up again because I'm having trouble sleeping. Good morning. What's your PayPal so I can buy you games later? Huh? Straight to the point. Jesus. I need to update my email to my PayPal because it's my old name from before I rebranded. What the heck? That's crazy. That's just an American thing. Want me to send it back? No, I wanted you to get a nice gym vest. LOL. Well, I mean, specifically because it seems like you're really passionate about working out. So I thought it'd be nice. I guess I could get another one. Yeah, and then you can remember me when you're wearing it. I thought it was a cute idea. LOL. Cool. You wanted a jacket and he bought it. Like, what's the problem? She then posts a tweet, which is her wearing the jacket. The gym jacket is so comfy. The muscle mommy arc will be real, where she's like showing off her butt. Cake, come eat it. Oh, bro, what are we doing? A calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation. After speaking to Elphilia a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Sykkuno and learn that we were both victims of his. We had victims. Is that what we're using now? Victims, right? P. Diddy has victims. Harvey Weinstein has victims. Epstein had victims. We're really going to say a dude who sends money to girls who post thirst traps and flirt with him are victims now? Is that what we're doing? We had no idea that he was talking to both of us at the same time. That's irrelevant. That is literally irrelevant. A man can flirt with however many people he wants. It doesn't bother anyone. That's literally not important. Sykkuno is known to send hundreds of dollars to the girls he wants to get involved with. This screenshot is from when he took my friend Elphilia to Paris during the 2025 TFT tournament, along with sending her 500 euros to help her move into her new apartment. You can clearly see that this was sent from his business email's PayPal to our account. Now, I believe that this is Elphilia in question, another not humongous content creator by any means, but a 22,000 follower account. If I scroll down one time, there'll be a bunch of thirst traps, so I'm not going to do that. Again, another consenting adult wanted to screw. A dude with a lot of money sent women that he liked a lot of money. Okay. Paying for another girl to fly out to him. Here are their DMs in which we can see that he offered to pay for a flight to TFT Paris, as well as the food and hotel fees there, pretty much taking care of her financially during the entire trip. So I'm going to skip most of these messages because it's just between Sykkuno and Ophelia, and he talks about how he's going to Paris and she wants to come basically, and she says she can't afford it, so he offers to fly her out to Paris. Dude with a lot of money, spending a lot of money to have a good time with a person he's interested in. That's about it. So there's a humongous thing here where I'm noticing a lot of these women think that this guy is like trying to marry them, when in reality it's a wealthy person who has money to waste. He has the money to blow. Have you ever had a friend who was like, oh, I want a monster? You can buy a monster because it's $2. Maybe you're even wealthier than that. Maybe you have a buddy who's like, oh, I want the new Helldivers. Here, $40. When you give people money, it doesn't inherently make you like their next partner. I literally had a friend who was wealthy who bought me like a Pokemon game one time, just as to be like a friend. I don't know if he was trying to get in my pants or something, right? I don't roll that way. But he was like, here, bro, here's the new Pokemon game. What's your like Amazon wish list thing or whatever? That's the situation I'm seeing here with Sykkuno. They are flirting with him consensually. He's not anywhere saying like, I want to marry you. I want to be your only exclusive partner. Ophelia's experience. Ophelia would talk to Sykkuno on and off for the span of 5 years. During that time, she had absolutely no idea he had a girlfriend in the 5 years that she had known him on and off, and flirted with him anytime she'd bring up the topic of his love life. He would give the response of playing too many games and not going out enough to meet women to date. I have a question for you. Why are you single? Like how? Huh? That's a crazy question. LOL. I think it's a combination of like playing too many games. Why crazy? Some calculated behavior and patterns, using his nerdy gamer boy facade to lure women into a false narrative. You're cute. You're this sweet to all girls, or am I just lucky? What? LOL. Only to the ones I think are cool. So like, it seems like all these women are trying to like gas this up, dude up, right? Like, I'm not a hater by any means, but this guy's not like freaking Channing Tatum or like Brad Pitt. He's just like a normal looking dude with a large following and a lot of money. It's very obvious that these women are trying to like riz him up, you know, trying to hype him up. And it seems just very mutual. All of these interactions seem very mutual. Beyond the element of him like having a girlfriend and cheating on her, that's bad. Yeah, sure. But here's proof that Sykkuno was in Paris for the TFT event around this time, literally from his Twitter. To add more salt to the wound, after Ophelia's Paris trip and 2 weeks after he had started talking to me, saying things like how he wants to move in with me and such, he would message Ophelia asking her if she'll be at Off Guy. This was proof that he'd be talking to more than one woman at the same time, planning a hookup for every event he went to. He was doing this while giving me the impression that he wanted something long term, all while also having a girlfriend since 2021. Ophelia and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories. She deserves the world. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the Google Doc, 26 of 32. Rumors and broken friendships. As I mentioned in the intro, no one made a public statement before because they never had sufficient evidence. Sykkuno would always talk about the most explicit and sensitive topics on voice calls or in person, never leaving a paper trail. This was all intentional. Rumors still managed to spread. Many content creators, both big and small, would vent to their friends about his behavior. Behind the scenes for many, he'd be known as a predator who regularly took advantage of smaller, vulnerable Good fucking grief. Can we not fucking do this? Can we not do this? A predator. He's a predator because he's flying out and buying 30,000 follower account e-girls who post their butt cracks on the internet. He's a predator. He's a disgusting evil monster. Can we not do that, please? The reason why Sykkuno would abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of this predatory behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim. There's no victims here. Making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. Maybe because a lot of these people see, oh, you're kind of like a cheater. That's kind of like a scumbag thing to do, but like you're not like an actual predator or anything. You're not an evil rapist or anything. So like, okay, cool. As Ophelia spoke with Sykkuno, she'd tell him about rumors that she'd heard from someone else about how Sykkuno had a roster of readily available women and how they all coincidentally were smaller creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong. Ophelia, of course, didn't believe this. After all, Sykkuno had a calculated pattern that worked perfectly in his favor. His innocent, naive demeanor wouldn't dare hurt a fly, so why would he hurt me? This is so vindictive and just disgusting because this is just a dude who obviously has a presence on the internet of not being this horrific gooner, cornball, scumbag, monster. He's not Sneeko. He's not, Aiden Ross or one of these guys who's like a terrible person who's saying controversial things and doing controversial things. If you message him and he's flirting with you privately, he doesn't want the fact that he's talking to 15 other girls known. This is literally how every human being works. You think that if I message a woman, like she's not talking to 5 other guys, right? There's a huge difference once you add in the factor of, yes, he has a girlfriend. That makes him a bad dude that he's cheating on his girlfriend. Now we have more messages between Kuno and Ophelia. I don't know, he said he dislikes you and that you only go for girls that are small so you can manipulate them with your shy persona, zzz. Yet he's doing that to my friend right now. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't. I think that's true, but I guess people say stuff randomly. Yeah, I'm confused as to those people who think I'm going for them. I haven't really done that. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, like I said before, people who know me will know me, and I guess he just dislikes me, which is totally fine. Exactly. He did say the only reason you haven't got called out is because you go after small creators and they'll never expose you. If you ever need proof of anything, I have receipts just in case he tries anything funny, which is, again, ironic because a 20,000 follower account, the one exposing this guy now, but, apparently, they'll never expose him. He's too big to fail when he's literally about to ruin his career, or his career is getting like tarnished right now because of these people coming out with his Google Doc. Now we finally get into the Sykkuno girlfriend allegations. This is probably something she should have started this with, if we're being honest here. But yeah, Sykkuno's girlfriend. The coincidence that would lead me to finding out the truth about Sykkuno happened last week. A popular male VTuber tried to slide in my DMs to presumably get in my pants, and when I rejected him, he immediately started to mention nasty rumors about Bayo. Out of concern for her, I reached out to a mod who then connected me with Bayo. The 3 of us struck up conversation. When I mentioned I was nervous about a date I was going on, they asked me who it was. When I said my date was with Sykkuno, they immediately told me not to go on the date for my own safety. Can we not do this? Please, bro. There's no safety to be had here. The dude's a cheater. You act like he's like slipping roofies into drinks. Good grief. Bayo told me that at the end of March, Sykkuno's girlfriend reached out to her regarding a tweet Bayo made last year. So here's the tweet from Bayo the Whale, saying if you're an up-and-coming female content creator with a small but growing audience and a much larger and successful male content creator approaches you out of nowhere and showers you with attention on stream and DMs, etc., don't walk, run. Just because I don't include every single nuanced exception, possibility, and variation doesn't mean we're not still having the same conversation. Stay safe, gang. She asked Bayo if it was true that the tweet was about Sykkuno. They called and Bayo explained to her that the other woman had confided in her about similar experiences. She described a pattern of behavior where he targeted small content creators and pressured them into having sex with them. That's not what we saw in any of these messages. She started it. She literally messaged him first, asking if they want to be a Valentine's Day. She was sending him nudes and he was acting like he's never seen nudes before. This was all her starting it. Bayo then offered to connect her with these other victims so they could share their experiences with her directly, as she felt it was important to hear them firsthand. This was all discussed during a Discord call. This person who's blocked out, hey Bayo, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that was a bit concerning. I thought I would just come ask you about it. I heard that there's possibly an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to his hotel room to drink with them, and that the tweet you made about being cautious of large male streamers sharing with gifts attention was about him, in regards of him doing it to one of your friends. Bayo told me that 3 days before I contacted her and her mod, Sykkuno and his girlfriend were trying to reconcile after Sykkuno somehow managed to convince her that it was all a huge misunderstanding. She had no clue that I, as well as many other girls, still existed in Sykkuno's romantic and sexual life. Bayo and her mod would put me in a group chat with Sykkuno's girlfriend where I would share all the screenshots you see above. She was horrified and left the group chat because she couldn't stomach reading them. I've lived with him for over 2 years. We've been together since 2021. Everything he's planning with you are things we have planned together and talk about and have done. I'm sorry. We finally get to the conclusion. To all of Sykkuno's victims, there are no victims. Ever since Sykkuno's viral breakout during the pandemic lockdowns of 2020, when he played Among Us, he has always carefully curated every aspect of his behavior on stream and his friends. An innocent, romantically inexperienced boy failure who looks like an anime character and sounds like one too. This perfectly curated image would attract a large audience of women, with a lot of them openly professing how attracted they are to him. He soaked in the praise and never sought to limit the most extreme aspects of his community, because it made him more desirable. He understood this and would use this curated image as well as his legitimacy in the content creation space, thanks to his followers and famous friends, to seek out any attractive cosplayers and or content creators that were small enough to be starstruck by his grand presence. It would work most of the time, as he'd use the same calculated pattern that he used with me and Elphelia to lure them in and eventually fly them out to the next convention or event that he went to with the goal of hooking up. What these many women didn't know is that he'd always lie about the fact he's single. Behind the scenes, he had a neglected and depressed girlfriend that he'd been with since 2021 and who has lived with him since 2024 in the same house. I implore the many other victims to come out about their experiences with this predator, and I end this document with a recording of Sykkuno in which he admits to everything, especially with how he cheated on his girlfriend with my friend and was intending to do that with me as well. For context, this was shortly after I had messaged his girlfriend about his cheating. 30 minutes later, he would ask if I was free for a call. As his girlfriend was crying downstairs, he somehow chose to prioritize someone that he barely met 2 months ago. I also pointed this out during the call. Now here's the video that was linked. Sykkuno admitting on call to everything in the Google Doc by Hema Mall. It's a 17-minute video.
Thomas?
Hello.
So?
Well, pretty much know most of it.
Yeah? Like what?
Know what?
No, you can tell me.
Okay. Well, wasn't very honest.
Oh?
About single.
About what? You have to speak up a little bit. Your mic's cutting out.
Sorry, always happens. About being single, and I just wanted to tell you how everything happened.
Uh-huh. You're still gonna have to speak up a little bit, by the way. You're still cutting out a lot.
Sorry, you know how I talk quietly.
Yeah, but you never talk this quietly.
I'm sad.
It's the actions of your, well, it's the consequence of your own actions, I suppose.
So yeah, it's gonna be a 17-minute video of him basically admitting to cheating on his girlfriend.
Very happy relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago. What, like 2021?
I don't know the exact time, honestly, but a long time ago. Then it got a lot less happy.
How so?
I don't fully know. She just stopped hanging out with me that much, and
Stop hanging out with you. She lives with you.
yeah, I mean,
You're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear a single sentence that comes out of your mouth. Why? Why didn't you just break off the relationship then?
because a combination of remembering how it was, some part of me hoping it would go back to that, and
Well, obviously it's not gonna go back to that if you're actively cheating on her. It's only
So the moral of this, video is that Sykkuno is not happy in his relationship anymore, and the girlfriend that he lives with, they don't really hang out a lot anymore, right? He talks about how they used to be in a happy relationship and they're not really happy and they still live together. It's kind of like being married to someone, but you aren't really you don't like them anymore, what it seems like. Of course, I'm not defending his actions. I don't think you should cheat on someone. You should just end the relationship. It does get a little difficult when you live together and whatnot, and you do have this relationship. This is what happens, right? People cheat. You know, men cheat with their peepees, women cheat with their minds, with their hearts. People cheat for various reasons, whether that be because they're not getting something in the relationship they currently have and someone else is making them happier, right? So it seems like Sykkuno was engaging with a lot of these women to basically get what he wasn't getting from his current relationship. I'm not defending that. I think that's scummy. It's a bad thing to do. I don't think this guy's a predator, though. I don't think he's an evil person. I think he's a hornball who is a large creator, large numbers, and he realizes with these large numbers, women are hitting him up. Women like him. And so these hot OnlyFans or Patreon girls are sliding in his DMs saying, hey, big boy, you need a Valentine's date, you know? And he reciprocates. He's getting nudies. He reciprocates. He likes what he sees. You know, he has the money to fly girls out and hook up with them and do all this other stuff. And the worst thing he did was not tell people that he was in a relationship this whole time, an unhappy relationship. I am not on the side of Sykkuno being some evil predatory monster who, you know, deserves to have his career and everything that he's worked for taken away. I think that he screwed up very badly. He should put out a statement, talk about it, you know, break up with his girlfriend. Obviously, I mean, he's cheated on her. She knows that now. Break up with her, you know, take whatever L he's going to get, which is, you know, if he loses followers, if, you know, certain women that follow him or female fans that he has no longer trust him, blah, 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 because he's a cheater and he's kind of a douchebag. In reality, he's just a cheater, a simp cheater who was paying women for video games and flying them out so he could hook up and hang out with them because he liked them, right? Bro doesn't deserve to lose his career over this. That's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think down below. You know, I could be wrong. I could be losing every time I talk, every sentence that goes on. I could be losing more and more subscribers. But I've covered a lot of drama on this channel. I've covered a lot of controversies, and this is really nothing to me. It's a guy that cheated on his girlfriend with a bunch of e-girls, and kind of sucks for that. He shouldn't have did that, but that's about where I stand. Thank you for watching. Peace out.